Hello there, and welcome to what is really sort of my new PC project that I alluded to back in one of the Packard Bell videos. So, first off, just a little bit about the machine that we got here, and the following extract has been taken from Wikipedia, link in the description below. The Digital Equipment Corporation, also known as DEC and using the trademark Digital, was a major American company in the computer industry from the 1950s to the 1990s. DEC was a leading vendor of computer systems, including computers, software and peripherals. Their PDP and successor VAX products were the most successful of all mini-computers in terms of sales. DEC was acquired in June 1998 by Compaq in what was at the time the largest merger in the history of the computer industry. At the time, Compaq was focused on the enterprise market and had recently purchased several other large vendors. DEC was a major player overseas where Compaq had less presence. However, Compaq had little idea what to do with its acquisitions and soon found itself in financial difficulty of its own. The company subsequently merged with Hewlett-Packard in May 2002. As of 2007, some of DEC's product lines were still produced under the HP name. So over the past few weeks I've been playing around with a couple of different old 486 machines. We've got the Packard Bell that has been discussed in previous videos, and we've also got this digital Venturis machine which is running a 486 SX33 processor. It has around 20 megabytes of RAM, so it's got 4 megabytes of RAM on board and a 16 megabyte 72 pin SIM stick inserted. It does have another 16 meg stick, but it appears that that stick is faulty, so it's not actually in the machine at the moment. Now, I've been working on trying to get different hard drives into these machines, as I'm having a problem with the primary IDE channel on this Venturis, and I'm also having a problem trying to get any hard drive apart from a 170 megabyte drive working in the Packard Bell. So what I've tried so far is I've tried a 512 megabyte CF card using a selection of CF to IDE adapters. So I've got three different adapters. I've got an adapter from Startech, and I've got a couple of other adapters of unknown Chinese origin. So we've got one adapter that sits in the back of the machine in a spare expansion slot, and we've also got another card that actually slots directly into one of the IDE channels. Now, with these older 486 machines, it seems that they like to have a 5-volt supply. So the cards, apart from the one that goes into the ISA slot, do actually have the option to select the voltage. So you can either have 3.3 volts or you can have 5.5. No, not 5.5. It's either 3.3 or 5 volts, sorry. Now, I've tried with the 512 megabyte card on both machines, and I've had no joy in actually getting this card to boot whatsoever. So I'm really in a bit of a situation now where I'm thinking, what do I do? Where do I go? The only thing I can think of doing is to actually use a piece of software called OnTrack, which is a dynamic drive overlay piece of software, which allows older BIOSes to work with larger drives. So there is it's either a 500 or 512 megabyte limit on older machines. Now the BIOS in the Venturis is actually a couple of years newer than the BIOS in the Packard Bell, and you can really see that there are quite a number of differences when it comes to the number of features that were available in the newer BIOS. Now, certain older BIOSes do allow auto detection of IDE drives. However, the one in the 486, the Packard Bell, does not allow or does not have that particular feature. It's a Phoenix BIOS v1.02, if I'm correct. The BIOS in the Venturis does allow auto detection, but with the CF cards it's not a 100% reliable auto detection. And also on the primary IDE channel, it does auto detect drives but gives back a lot of incorrect values, which leads me to think that there is a problem with that primary IDE channel. Secondary IDE channel seems to be working okay, so it's going to be that one that I concentrate on. I've also acquired a Gotek USB Floppy Emulator, and using a piece of software available from Phil's Computer Lab's website. It's a fantastic YouTuber that I've learnt quite a lot from as regards this particular project. You can actually use a piece of software on your main PC, create a 100 floppy disks on a standard USB stick, and then you can assign floppy images to each of those disks. So what I've been able to do, trialing this device in both the Packard Bell and also the Venturis, is I've actually been able to boot using an MS-DOS boot disk. So the next thing that I'm going to have to try to do is using this on-track software is to actually try to try to install the relevant overlay software so that I can then partition the CF card correctly. And I'm going to be trying that on the Venturis, as it seems that the Venturis has probably got more capability than the Packard Bell. Other things that I may be trying with some of my older hardware is I am tempted to get another of these Gotek floppy emulators for the Amstrad 386 that I've got, and also see about removing the 170 meg drive in the Amstrad and slotting in one of the CF card readers. Now, the reason why I want to do that is the CF card reader within the Amstrad, the hard drive within the Amstrad does seem to work quite well in the Packard Bell. So if anything, I've got a 170 megabyte fallback that I can use in the Packard Bell. So really, that's where I am with these projects. I mean, it's been a few weeks, sort of an hour here and there, sort of playing about with them, but it does bring back some interesting, slightly frustrating memories of playing about with old PC hardware, specifically hardware from around this era. And it's also been a bit of a learning curve as regards, and also a refresher course as regards the dynamic drive overlay software. So I remember having to use that many years ago, but I thought I would be sort of getting away with it with certainly on the Venturis because it had a newer BIOS. But it seems that perhaps the CF cards actually need this software as standard. So anyway, keep an eye on this project as we move forward, and thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for further videos and further entertaining, fascinating hobbies.